All right, we got Todd Ellis here, voice of the Gamecocks. Todd, what did it mean to get the phone call that you were going to be enshrined here today, man?
You know, it's crazy. When you become my age, you've done the practice of the law, you played football at all these great places, and now you broadcasted at other ones. To have somebody recognize that you've done something from 37 years ago that you finished in playing football in South Carolina was really special. I have a great relationship with David Wyatt, who is a big part of, I'm sure, why I've been inducted into this process this week. Then I went back. You know, the organization's 13 years old. There's only one other quarterback that's been inducted so far. That's Steve Fuller. Pretty good company there. So I feel really honored alongside the other inductees and the ones who've already been a part of it. You know, I don't have to tell you guys this, but football is my life in a lot of ways, other than my family, even sometimes more than my law practice. Not my clients, but my law practice. It means the world to me to be a part of it, and so now to be recognized with the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame is incredible.
You mentioned 37 years ago. What do you remember, like what still pops in your head from your experience at South Carolina in that phase of your life?
Yeah, well, first of all, I played 42 games without being hurt. Nobody would do that today. Not necessarily not being hurt, but obviously the transfers, guys not starting for 4 years. Nobody starts for 4 years now. So I started 42 games for South Carolina. I played for 2 head coaches and 3 offensive coordinators. You know, not easy to do during that time frame. But what sticks out, of course, is the personal relationships I built with players that was there. They're great games. I just told the story over here. That's one of my favorite. They asked me my favorite memory as a broadcaster and as a player. And my favorite memory as a player is we were playing Georgia in 1988 at home at Williams-Brice Stadium. Hot day, both ranked in the top 15 in the country. They were ahead of us. We had a great plan for that game, and Robert Brooks was just emerging to be a superstar wide receiver that nobody knew about from Greenwood, South Carolina. And Robert runs a fade route that we planned out all week long, and it was caught in the end zone for a touchdown that goes in the middle of Sports Illustrated. Incredible event. That's one of my favorite memories.
I think we were about to talk about, you talked about some of your favorite memories as a player. What about your favorite memories now as a broadcaster? Is there anything, I know it's probably hard to.
No, you know, it's,
you have one
I have a bunch
mind?
of them. I have a bunch of them. Somebody's asked me that twice, so that helps already. Yeah, I think my favorite play-by-play or moment at Williams-Brice as the play-by-play guy, there's a lot of them. But 2012, when we played Georgia at home, and we were both ranked, but we were underdogs, and we were up 14-0, and they punted it away again to my boy Ace Sanders, and I was able to call that punt return into a stadium with a sound in the background that was deafening. It was like nothing I'd ever heard before at Williams-Brice, and I'd been there for everything since 1985. That was an amazing time. I like beating Georgia. That didn't hurt from my bias standpoint. There are tons of other ones. Calling Connor Shaw going 17-0 at Williams-Brice Stadium during his career. It was ridiculous. One of the toughest players I've ever known at any position. And I enjoy calling his games a ton. And then currently with Coach Beamer, Clayton White, I love our defenses the way they've done. And Spencer Rattler, I think it's still underrated. I think people were going to go to their grave. It was the greatest quarterback season in the history of South Carolina, maybe in the country, the year that he had as a Gamecock when we won 9 games. Watching him that year, it felt like he was playing with Pee Wee football players. That whole year was magical for me just because I thought he was brilliant.
I know with you've had some great moments alongside Tommy Suggs. How much fun do you guys have together in the booth, just being able to kind of experience on the road and all these great moments?
Yeah, it's tremendous. First of all, we have a great friendship and trust outside the booth and trust inside the booth that makes it fun, and a ribbing that we can do with each other. But yeah, sharing that, you'd be surprised. I mean, you go to Texas A&M, it is what it is. They got great teams. We've never won there. They're intimidating. It's beautiful. It's true college football. But, those breakfast mornings we have, we call it a production meeting before a ball game, and we just eat breakfast, talk about what needs to be done, really just talk about what can we do to win today. I mean, that's everything to me, and Tommy Suggs is a huge part of my life. Plus, I call on Tommy for, a lot of things outside of football with our friendship, business, family, and everything else. We're just friends, and it would be hard to do it without him. I would never say never, but I don't see myself doing it without Tommy.
Have you gotten over there this spring to watch the guys a little bit this year? Any thoughts so far?
Yeah, it's so hard. When you turn over a third, everybody does. Turns over a third of your roster every season. In the springtime, I think it's harder and harder now to tell what kind of rhythm you're going to have. But what I look for with coaching, I look for what kind of practice style that we had. That was amazing. Changed completely. The good thing is about this whole process, it became clear to me that Tommy Suggs will have very little to say come this fall because they go so fast. There will be no time for him to give commentary in between. We run a lot of hurry up. We run a lot of things that Lenoris is good at. We kind of look different in the offensive line, the style, the guys that we're going to have up there, the plays we're going to run. But everything I saw was incredibly organized, professional, and, we've got the athletes out there. Clayton White, again, I'll say this too, I love Coach Beamer, but we don't want anybody to take him away from us. But when I look back at last year, we had a very fine football team, but nothing like the year before on defense that we were. We got lucky in the portal. We did very well in evaluating. We didn't have those. Clayton White has done an amazing job at South Carolina coaching defense and coming up with a team that can keep teams under 21 points, 22 points per game. And we need to help him out this year on offense. I think that's what Kendall's got in mind, and I think that's what Coach Famer's got in mind.
Good. No, real quick, with the current renovations at Williams-Brice Stadium, you've seen a lot of change around the area, of course, with the Farmers Market, which is now Gamecock Park and everything else. How excited are you about these changes that we're going to see here at Williams-Brice Stadium?
I'm very excited, and I think Jeremiah Donati's going to be here tonight. I just want to make sure my name is not coming off the side of the stadium, which marks my career passing record. No, in all seriousness, I think they have done a tremendous job with putting those plans together and implementing it so far. First of all, we're rewarding the students with an air-conditioned space behind their stands, much needed for a long time, increasing the areas on the side, getting bigger concession stands and bathrooms, kind of the basics, which has been left behind. And then we all know about the suites. You can almost sell all the suites you want nowadays. It's hard to give away the tickets in the hot sun on the east side at Williams-Brice Stadium. And so I think that'll help us. It'll increase the entertainment value of what we have at Williams-Brice. Not that I get to experience any of that, but yes, it'll be nice.
Had the two different chapters you've had with South Carolina as a player and calling the games. What does that mean to you? And maybe like in that transition, what did it mean to you to be able to start doing that after playing?
When I came back and decided to go to law school, I was like, I've been trained my entire college career to speak in front of the media, to answer questions. This was not like Shane Beamer is today, who can speak to a room of corporate representatives or guys down in Colleton County who he wants to recruit from a hunting farm. It doesn't matter. Shane can do it all. Joe Morrison didn't say much to the media, so it was left to me a lot. What I realized was I want to be a lawyer. I want to be someone that's on my feet all the time. Maybe I should do some broadcasting. I had that opportunity offered to be a part of it. What I didn't realize is I needed to be a part of it. I love the game so much, and in my talk tonight, that's what I'm going to talk about a lot. I still am thrilled to watch the plays that are made at practice or at Williams-Brice Stadium or wherever. I love the game of football. So to continue to be involved is important to me. I have not sat, I haven't sat in a stadium since I've finished. I think I've been to, other than the Panthers games, I've been to Panthers games some, but I've been in the broadcast booth or on the sidelines since I finished. And so I don't know any other way to do it.
There's a big difference between being a broadcaster for any team versus getting to be a home broadcaster. Do you think you could have ever done not rooting for the Gamecocks, not being their home broadcaster?
Well, I had offers along the way, but I was like, wait a second, I got to fly in on Thursday, and I'm going to Utah, and I don't get back till Sunday? No. Yes, I could have done it, but no, I did not want to. One of the great things about it is obviously my passion is with Carolina. I fly with the team, thank God, bless them, bless the university. So I'm out on Friday afternoon at 5. I'm back no matter what, Sunday morning at 4 or 5 in the morning, and I can practice law and keep my eyes open a little bit and have it. So the answer is yes, but no regrets relating to that whatsoever. And you couldn't peel me away to do, I'd do another game as a one-off, but no, I'm a homer. Everybody knows that. I call it like it is. When we're not playing well, don't get me wrong, but you can definitely tell in my voice when you turn on the broadcast how we're doing in the ball game. I think that's your question.
I'm sure you've been asked, but what does this honor mean to you?
Yeah, I'm absolutely thrilled with this honor. You know, when you finish something 37 years ago and someone's looking at you now and saying you did a pretty good job, in fact, you ought to be one of the first quarterbacks ever inducted into the South Carolina Football Hall of Fame. It's a blessing. Football has given me so much. I gave a lot of sacrifice things. I gave to the game as well. I continue to try to do so, but I know how good it's been to me. And to have an organization like this recognize me with all these great players that have been in already and that are coming in tonight, I'm thrilled.
Thank you, sir.